another day of the state of being check-in. How y'all feeling today? Drop it in the comments. Let me know how y'all feeling, man. We at day 20. 20 days in, guys. We're about 3 weeks into this process. We are beyond grateful for all those who've been with us since day one, those who've checked in halfway through the process, and those who are just discovering this for the first time, man. We're thankful for all of you all continuing to build with us and connect. And as we always say, this is a space to bring light to life. So the reality here is we need each other. We're continuing to develop this process and develop this community. This is for the stars worldwide who want to be a part of this Black universe. I am your moderator, Zoe Black, hip hop artist here out of the DMV. And we do this check-in every day with the intention of connecting and building and understanding our future and taking the required steps to get to that particular space, right? So, as we always do with this check-in, we start off with a quick moment to reset with our reset breath. All right, we're gonna do a quick deep breath, inhale, exhale. We're gonna hold it for a moment today. We're gonna hold it for a quick second so that we can really become present because today's message is important. All right. With these reset breaths, the intention is to release all that tension that we have inside. It's to make ourselves present because there's a lot of chaos and a lot of distraction, a lot of turmoil going on around us. So we need a moment just to kind of reset, just to make sure that we are in this present moment, giving this present moment the best version of us. Please excuse my background. I am at a restaurant doing doing this particular check-in right now. So I just wanted to make sure that we stay consistent with the process. And today's focus is something that all of us, I'm sure, are going through in some capacity. And it's the process of rebuilding. Starting this one is difficult because I'm kind of in this season of rebuilding myself and not no small rebuild. It's like a real life reconstruction. It's a real life tear down, evaluating the land, evaluating the foundation, and building from square one. It's a tough season. It's a difficult season to be in, but I look at it from the standpoint of having a clear vision of what that blueprint has, like the schematics. Like how they'll have like an outlook of what the future will look like on schematics, on like these blueprints, right? And to me, that's like having a clear vision of what your future holds and what your future will look like. And I live with that in my mind, and that's what brings me peace when it comes to this rebuilding process. So, as we always do, I want to make sure that we set our intentions for today, right? My intention for today is to not try to build the entire structure in a day. My intention for today is just to take one avenue of my life or one space in my life and figure out how I can clear it out as much as possible and let go. I've been doing that for some time now, just reevaluating a lot of the things in my life and thinking about, okay, well, how can I, really tear down the things that have been holding me back? But my intentions are to, thank you so much. Guys, as I mentioned, I'm at the Chick-fil-A here, not too far from my job, and the lady just stopped by and dropped off a wonderful present, man. So shout out to them. That was a wonderful moment. That was really sporadic, or it wasn't planned at all. So shout out to her. But in this season of rebuilding, you really got to evaluate your circumstances. A lot of times we'll be in these unfit circumstances solely because they're comfortable. We grow up in households where things are put into us, programmed into our well-being, and then we become people and things that aren't necessarily who we truly are. So a part of this rebuilding season for me is really evaluating, my foundation. And it's going to get uncomfortable. It's going to get uncomfortable when it comes to tearing down things that are no longer useful to my future. I'm really firm in my understanding that I don't I don't need to hold on to things in order for me to get to where I need to go to. The most important thing is the ability to be able to let go. And letting go is tough because, like I said, you get comfortable with certain situations. You have love for people that may not necessarily be good for you. They may not be good for the person that you're becoming. So it's tough. It's difficult. And I'm in that season myself. So I'm speaking from firsthand experience. And in so many situations, it'll be people that are so close to you. It can be your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters. Your loved ones that you develop over time, peers. And it's hard to like let go of those people or let go of those things that you've grown so accustomed to like having in your life and being comfortable with. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. But I look at it from the standpoint of like a construction worker, right? A construction worker who is looking at a structure and saying, well, how are we going to build this new thing? They can go in there and try to paint over the walls, put new nails into an old structure and see if that it can continue to sustain. But the real key would be to actually have the demolition process, right? It's to demolish the old structure, do away with all the debris, dig up the foundation, and just do away with anything that's no longer serving to the future structure that you're trying to put there. So my intention for today, once again, is to look at all of those spaces in my life and say, well, is this going to be productive or this going to be helpful for the future structure that I'm trying to build for myself? And I'm cool with cutting anything off that doesn't necessarily serve me. And you got to be cool with that yourself. So ask yourself, man, is there anything in your life that you need to get rid of or clear out? Is there a mindset, an old habit, people, old actions, anything that you need to just get rid of? I encourage you to just take one thing today and say, you know what, I'm going to commit myself to getting rid of this. I grew up in an alcoholic household, so I abused alcohol majority of my adult life. And I had to really get to the point of knowing that was no longer serving to the future version of myself. And that alcohol transitioned into other substances, you know what I'm saying? So I had to really like think about like, man, what am I trying to become and who am I trying to be? And if those things aren't serving to that, I gotta let it go, no matter how hard it is. I got to. If there's people who are part of that lifestyle that are no longer like serving to me, I gotta let them go. And I'm cool with being alone. I'm cool with being by myself. I'm cool with just the peace of just knowing that wherever I'm going, it's gonna be so much better than where I was. I would deal with the dissatisfaction and I would deal with the discomfort of today to build for a more comfortable tomorrow. I'm cool with that. But that's like a construction worker, right? You gotta destroy that old structure. You gotta do away with all of the things that don't serve the future foundation. You got to. I think having a clear understanding of where you want to be is probably the most, like in all of these state of being daily check-ins, we constantly talk about intention, right? And then knowing like where you want to be in life. And if you don't have a clear understanding of that, then you won't see how important it is to actually get rid of those old wineskins or those old structural. It's like, okay, you can repair or you can rebuild. But it's like, would you put a Band-Aid over a wound that's been cut so deep that you would need surgery? It's not going to sustain. It's just like you painting over mold. It's not going to sustain. So you got to be okay with that process, man. I'm trying to give myself some space to breathe because this is like real personal to me. And I know that the healing process, the rebuilding process is a difficult one. But it takes time. It takes time. You don't have to rebuild Rome in a day. I know I've said that before, but that's something that really hits home because sometimes we'll think that because of where we are and where we want to get to, we want to just kind of rush our way to get there. But you can't build a home in a day. You can't change your life in a day. You can't do anything besides just take one thing at a time. Be a bricklayer. Lay down that brick, lay down that foundation, lay down that structure the right way. Because it's better to do that for it to have a long sustaining it's better to have a longer sustaining situation than to constantly have these like band-aids that we put over situations. I'm grateful for the courage that I have to no longer be comfortable in certain situations. I'm grateful for my ability to see the destruction and see the dysfunction and want to change it. I'm a bricklayer myself. And I know if you're in this chat, I know if you comment, and I know if you're watching this now or later, I know you're a bricklayer yourself. So I encourage you to continue to look at the spaces in your life and figure out, man, what can I do today just to begin that process? Or if you're in the middle of that process, what can I do to continue on that process? Because you are important, and you can shift the dynamic in your whole entire lineage by being a bricklayer today. Shout out to the stars worldwide, man. If you're watching this now or if you're watching this later, I want to thank you all, as always, for continuing to check in with us. We'll be here again tomorrow. We will continue to develop these state of being check-ins. And every day we'll be here with the intention of building our community, connecting with one another, and showing love to the stars worldwide, man. So if you're out there and if you're going through that process of rebuilding, allow yourself the grace and the patience to go through the process of rebuilding. It's going to get uncomfortable. It's going to get a little scary at times, and it's going to get lonely. But trust in the Most High more than anything. One love from your boy Zoe Black. I typically would do like a outro that kind of steers people to, my music and whatnot. But I want this moment right now to be a moment where you check in with yourself and lean into the Most High as much as you can. Because at the end of the day, all we have is ourselves to blame for any circumstances that we in. And we got to be able to rebuild with ourselves and rebuild for our future selves and rebuild for our future families and legacies and so on and so forth. So do that for yourself today. If you're a star, if you're a part of this black universe, do that for yourself today. All right? It's your boy Zoe Black checking in and checking out. I'll see you tomorrow, as always. Consistency is everything. One love and continue to shine on. It's your boy Black.